What's up guys, Kamal here, and like I said in the previous video, I'm going to bring you this one to show you how the trade market works in Path of Exile. Full disclosure, I'm not a fan of it. I might probably still use it, but I'm not a big fan of it. So let's get in this. Before I do though, I want to thank you guys for checking out the channel, checking out this video. If it does help you out, please consider liking the channel and even subscribing, but don't make that decision until the end of the video. So, the first thing you have to do, which I have large amounts of disdain for, is you have to make a microtransaction. So before you can even start participating in the trade market aspect of this game, you have to go into the microtransactions, get yourself one of these nice little $5 packs, or the $20 First Blood pack. That will work completely fine as well. I'm a cheap ass. I got the 50 points for $5. Come down here, and right here, premium stash tab, or you can upgrade one to a premium tab. Either one of these will work. Both of these are purchasable with the $5 microtransaction. With this, you can get, what, 3 of them? You can upgrade 3 of your tabs into a premium, and then with this one, it just gives you an additional tab as a premium tab. Very important. You do not, and I repeat this again, you do not have access to the trade market until you've completed this step right here. Once you've completed this step right here, you'll notice in your stash that you have another tab. So with this tab, as soon as you get into it, if you want to start selling stuff, you have to allow it. You have to trigger the ability to sell stuff from your stash. By doing that, you click on the R3 button, and then you'll see underneath the name it says public. This doesn't mean that everyone has public access to your stash. What it does is it allows the game the ability to go in and utilize that stash space to sell it to somebody in the public. So it's like, it's called public, but when you do that, it's just like, this is the stash spot that you put your stuff that you want to publicly put up for trade. Like I said, nobody has access to it. Nobody can come in and take shit out of your stash. It's not going to happen. Just allows you to use it, okay? So you get that all set up, and then you're like, cool, so my stuff's for sale. Now we gotta sell it. Okay, how the fuck do I sell it? Well, you don't do it here. It took me about 20 minutes to figure this out, running around doing random dumb shite. But you go back to your stash tab. In your stash tab, you can set an item note with X. This is how you decide what you're going to be selling it for. So let's say these random boots that you guys saw me get in the last video from the divination card, they're boots, they're made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. So I'm going to put them in for an orb of alchemy or 2. This right here, it's haste, makes you walk faster. I have it in there for a chaos orb. Now the reason I have it in there for a chaos orb is because I know it's not going to sell, and I just wanted to give you guys an idea of how this works, right? So you put it in there for whatever you want. The right joystick will, go up and down in this menu. The directional pad will actually change the amount of currency in which you're asking for. If you don't put anything like that, I think it just leaves it as like make an offer, but I'm not sure. Once you're in here, this is the part that I find painful, and this is searching. So there's no way to search for specific items. Like, let's say you're looking for a bow that does +1 to socketed gems, +2 to bow skills, and then plus, chaos damage or damage over time or whatever you're looking for. That would be the bow that I want. I want that bow. Well, what you can do is you can look for bows and the item level that you want the bow to be. But aside from that, it's just a huge mess. So this is everything, every single bow of that base type that somebody has for sale. That's a lot of intelligence required for that bow. But as you can see, that's not bad, but these are all the different bows, and there's absolutely no way to be like, listen, I want a 5-linked bow, I want 1 to gems, 2 to bow gems, X to chaos, X to life. There's no way to search for that. So it really is a huge pain in the ass to try to search for anything. You're going to be going through hundreds of pages just to try to get 1 or 2 things. Now, that's for searching for gear. If you want my advice, find a community, find a Discord. I have both of people that are trying to buy, sell, and trade. I am a loot whore. My job, my goal in games like this is I make builds with, let's get out of this. I make builds with as much item rarity as I can, as much magic find as I can, so that I can find as much potentially good gear as possible. I don't really run too many different characters. I search for shit just so that I have it, so that if I find some random person that wants it, I can try to help them out. So, I mean, really, all in all, I would have to say that this trade market is, I'd give it like a 3 out of 10. And it's a few different things. I don't like the UI. I don't like that there's no direct search. Like, I need to be able, if you're going to implement a system like this, it needs to be a little bit more in-depth. And the reason being is because there's so many different prefixes and suffixes and things in the game that are very small, minute details that are very important. So finding exactly that, exactly the piece that you're looking for in this system is going to be almost impossible. I will say, however, though, there is an upside to this. There is a very, very large positive to this trade market, and that's the ability to get currency. Now, with the currency, you can actually go in here and you can be like, okay, I'm looking for, I want to re-roll my character. I want to re-roll my build. I need to fix this silly mistakes that I've made in the passive skill tree. So what you do, and I think I've already passed it, but you can go in here and you can search specifically for Orb of Regret right here, right? And it brings up everyone selling Orb of Regret. You can find people selling 200 of them sometimes. I don't see any on here right now, but I mean, there's 30 for 30 Chaos Orbs. That's pretty good. 66 for 61 Chaos Orbs. That's even better. You know, and there's pages and pages of these. Obviously, if you're going for a complete rebuild, you're going to want to try to get as many as you can for as cheap as you can. But the currency thing, I'm not gonna lie, that's what's bringing it from a 1 to a 3. I mean, this is really makes it worth the microtransaction purchase itself. But as far as searching for gear, it's not good. It's not intuitive. Now, these videos are always going to be my opinions. You can agree, you can disagree. I mean, that's all on you. This is just really how I feel about it. So, I mean, I can't really think of a reason not to get it, aside from the fact that it costs money. But I mean, if you're gonna put money into the game, it's a free-to-play game. If you're gonna put money into the game, I could definitely see this as something worth putting the money in, because I mean, to sell it all you have to do is go in here, put shit for sell, and then I mean, once somebody makes an offer, you go there and you can, in here in this page will actually be all the offers that have been made for your items. Or no, sorry, there's a third page that'll pop up. This one's going to be for offers that you've made. So if somebody like has a bow that you're looking for, or a piece of chest armor that you're looking for, I almost completely forgot this. I'll come back to it though. If they have a piece of armor that you're looking for, it'll show up in this. So somebody has an armor, you're offering them 2 Chaos Orbs for it, it'll show up on here whether they've accepted or not. There'll be a third page that pops up once you have somebody offering to buy your things from you, and it'll give you the opportunity to either approve or disapprove the sale. Now, the one other thing that I forgot to mention, when you're looking for body armor, boots, gloves, and helmets, these are the ones that are important. It actually, you can tell which armor type. It's something very small that I'm sure that just looking at it you'll be able to tell anyways, but it actually tells you what the defense type is going to be on the armor before you click on it. So right here we'll go to a random one right there. So Conjurer's Vestment. It's a level 45 chest with intellect. That means it's going to be an intellect requirement, and it's going to give you energy shield. This right here is dexterity. It's going to have a dexterity requirement, and it's going to give you evasion. This right here, the strength requirement, will give you armor. I've went over the different types of armor, and then obviously these two will give you a combination of armor and evasion, armor and energy shield, evasion and energy shield. So just keep that in mind. Aside from that, there's not really too much else to go over, except for you can search for players that are currently online only, which will just make the sales potentially quicker. It's a very questionable system. I would much rather not have this system at all, and if they just implemented a chat, just an in-game chat, that's all we need, just a constant feed of people like, you know, Invasion Lash Belt, 1 Alchemy Orb, Horror Amidst Nukboot Gloves, Nabuk Gloves, OBO, you know, Doom Arrow Penetrating Arrow Quiver, 2 Orbs of Alteration. You know, people selling shit in chat, it gives people the idea, or not the idea, but I guess it kind of lets people know that there's a community of people trying to constantly buy and sell things. It's easy to keep track of what things are worth, because if you have a system like that, you're going to be a lot more likely to not make a sale if you're trying to rip people off. So it's almost like a capitalistic or capitalism type scenario when you have the chat, where everyone has their own products, but the best prices will be the ones that reign supreme. So for a buyer, it's a fantastic system for a buyer to have the chat, just the scrolling chat. I could see as for a seller why a system like this would be better, but I think that more important than this auction house type system would be the chat. I think the chat would be much more beneficial. It would be a lot better. But once again, that's strictly my opinion. So I hope that this video helps you guys out. I'm not going to be streaming Path of Exile today. Equinox Prime on Warframe just got dropped, so I'll be doing that today. And then later on tonight, I will probably be doing a Path of Exile stream. So, I just woke up. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go do some drugs.